let me just say, even before that, guys, I've got a sore throat, so please just bear with me. And I will respect your time, so we'll try to get this one done in, like I say, just about 30 minutes, because the other one took an hour. So yeah, I've got my lab timetable here, my lab hours, and this is just when I tend to work on my PhD on stream and do all the related activities there to streaming and research. It might not make a lot of sense, but it is an artifact, and it's a way that streamers in their community communicate to each other with a schedule, right? And this is quite prevalent, but this is my one. And what I did was program some time between 10 and 6 for when I'd be working full time on this PhD and doing my stream. And you can see I've started filling in when I start, when I finish, and the kind of like broad strokes of what I was doing in that time. So I've been doing a lot of dives. This is last week's. We did the reflection, and we had that. This was a HDR Zoom, right? We had that HDR meeting about starting your. No, was it about starting your PhD? That was this week. Last week's was the orientation. That's right. And we didn't know about the epigeum. This week's, we played Bubsy, and we finished Bubsy the game, which was great. And I listened to a couple of lectures and talks by our supervisory panel. Nobro says if you didn't know any better, you think you're really into diving. Yeah, and if you didn't know it was hell dives, then I understand that. So for my supervisory panel and team, like, as you know, like, we're all doing this live, I'm totally transparent. We started playing Ghostbusters. There's a lot of hype, right, around Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is the kind of franchise that sadly makes people cry. It's so moving. And the viewers in our community are big fans of that franchise, so we're playing that. But I started doing some writing and attending all the HDR meetings and things that I need to do. And my skill in Helldivers game is going up. So Helldivers is just a very popular, trending game right now. What I like about the game is that it's not player versus player. It's a cooperative kind of game, and it presents itself with lots of opportunities for players to really get in this mindset of playing at a high level, right? And we can go into that and discuss that later. So I've been fairly busy, and the black parts here with a little cooking icon is when I'm working on things after hours. And you could be like, well, that's a lot of time. That's like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you are not mistaken. Okay, so let's go over show notes, right? Oh, even before we go over show notes, it is worth remembering that we've got the website, right? And the website does get periodically updated with Rival Gaz tidbits and facts. So, you know, it's like a business card. Let's go over show notes, right? So we're up to week 4 with the PhD. We started the COC, right? HDR workshops we did, and then we also had a supervisory team got together there, and that was happening today, and that was the delay. I respect your time, so thank you very much for meeting up in advance before meeting with me, and just watching, just being lurkers. With gaming, we beat Bubsy, we unlocked Helldive. That's a difficulty, right? So at the top level of play in Helldivers 2 is a difficulty level known as Helldive, so that's 9 out of 10 basically. And I've completed 2 of them successfully, right? On average in a day, the average match takes about 45 minutes. So if you're playing all day, you could fit anywhere between, like, let's just say 8 and 15 matches in a day, right? And if you're a super duper player, imagine you do like 15 hell dives in one day, which is radical in my book. I don't know if I'll get there myself though, because I have to play a lot of games and get experience in a lot of things. And as you know, the distraction and the risk for me is to get too involved in the game rather than just gain my appreciation and know how to interview pro players of that game, right? But I'm really enjoying myself doing that, and my skill level is going through the roof. And it's really important because I have injured my hands due to my gameplay, right? And my deviance and compulsion to be the best that no one ever was. It's a Pokemon joke. And my rehabilitation through gaming and the protocols to not worsen the injury, to make sure I can still game out at 8 hours a day. I'm learning a lot on that front, which is going to be really invaluable contribution to the pro gaming scene, at least locally in town, when we share that information with the esports teams and things like this. Alright, so we unlocked Helldive, and then we started Ghosts. And here's the thing about Ghostbusters, is that I tried to play this game before, guys, but I actually, but it was when I was really injured, so my enjoyment of the game went way down. It's actually kind of fun. With the stream, viewership is up. But I don't know, that's not a goal, that's not a focus of ours, right? Viewership is up. And we hit 1,000 out of 2,000 kick hours, which is amazing, right? So we're halfway through streaming on Kick before we most likely return to Twitch. Primarily as our focus, unless the supervisory team or someone on the team of Kick thinks otherwise. There's no reason for me to stay here, right? So you don't do 2,000 hours on a platform and just get racially abused and be like, I'm going to stay here. You know what I mean? Especially when you're not making any money and no one on the platform seems to care. And I know, like, from a reputation point of view, like when you go on Twitter and you look at Kick to see a 14-year-old doing drugs and harassing people and go, that's Kick streaming, or you just see all the gambling and stuff and you're like, is that Kick streaming? Or you see like what's on the front page, you know, is that Kick streaming? It's like, I know I don't really belong here, but I believe in this. I believe in the Aussies, and I believe in the Aussie platform, and I do believe there's space for professional activity here. But we'll just see what we do, right? All the pro gamers are on Twitch though, so I know we'll most likely have to go back. And the last thing on the stream, well, there's still a little bit more time to go. I'm hoping what I can fill in here is I've got the bare bones for the RPG campaign, right? So let's go through with a to-do list. This is just the stream to-do list, games and things that I want to play. But I did have some things in here, like install Office and EndNote. We've got Office. We didn't have Office on here before, we didn't use it. We use Google Suite, right? So just different things. And then I have my confirmation of candidature document to do, which I can show you here is a thing that we've done. So it's worth knowing that one of our supervisors already gave us a template to work on this, but I'm insistent on doing everything on stream and showing everyone the entire process. So everyone has watched me make this template and get started, right? So I don't want to go into too much detail about this. Please be aware though that my plan is to submit the project proposal COC document, including work breakdown structure and Gantt chart, and run that through Authenticate. I want to submit that. I want to submit a video and a presentation of me talking through it, and I want to have that all completed ideally by the end of the month, and I want to present it at the High Degree by Research conference in 3 months' time. But if I can get approved in advance, then I will, but I'll take all your feedback on board. I know it's ambitious, but I'm on camera 8 hours a day, so I'm either going to be improving my gameplay skills or I'm going to be doing that. Right, one or the other. More things that we've got to look at here for the stream. We've got some helmets to make still, right? So you remember last week I was talking to you guys about how I made the Helldiver helmets to capture this kind of the spirit decor of it, and I know my French is terrible. The RPG campaign, I have been reading a general universal role-playing game master handbook to help me be able to put together a good campaign that can be played in an asynchronous fashion. And it's worth bringing up that at the at the Games-Based Learning virtual conference, which unfortunately I only just found out about, so I couldn't nominate to be a speaker there, but this woman here from the University of Massachusetts, Boston, has a talk about designing asynchronous online games in higher education, and that's the type of games that we've played before, right, to high success. And I'm planning to take this asynchronous nature and combine it with the role-playing game that we're going to cook up with our viewers. What does this mean? How does this relate to the PhD? It's just about showcasing all the various ways that really good gamers play and how we play and what's going on. It's all about understanding the sociology of people like myself and people who use these platforms who are fascinated with gaming, right? So we've still got the core idea, 50K dissertation, the PhD on the 5-factor model, which is our SOC, and to explain the SOC and the artifacts being a deconstructed stream with all the artifacts, digital and physical, that help us come to know and appreciate the activity that I'm partaking in and what elite gaming is and how we know that, right? So think exhibition, we're getting there. Got some more intellectual nuance still. I haven't developed this further because we decided to pump the brakes and say COC is our primary thing. So I want to present the 5-factor model at the HDR conference and get feedback, as well as do the whole COC. Should be pretty straightforward. But obviously that's a red flag thing that I just said. But let's just be a Land Cruiser and drive over the bumps as we get there. Some more philosophical thoughts. We talked through this last week. Again, the COC timeline. We do the COC, then we get ethics, so we can look at, what's cool for asset making, what's cool for interviews, what's cool for surveys, what's cool for the reacts. Have your supervisor remarks from last week, and then we also were speaking about what's cool and what's not cool in terms of like CDU supporting the project, right? So as we know, it's like the stream is separate from my teaching and research duties at Charles Darwin University, but I have to do it in order to be the pro gamer, in order to be the streamer, in order to know elite gaming. I have to partake in the activities, right? That's that ethnography. So that's why if you go to the OneDrive or the rivalgas.com website, and then we read this statement here, right, which has loaded horribly for some reason, but I'll fix it. It's a statement about coming to understand Rival Gaz as a character now, and how Rival Gaz and his terrible subtitles is, he plays a streamer. It's all fictional, but there's also real Gaz at the same time, and we explore all this interplay as it happens live. So this is kind of where we're at on that respect. There are some other really important things though, like we've finally got access to our Epigeum training, and I've spoken to the stream and everybody to let them know that I've got to do this, right? Whether or not we show them everything or not when we do it live, I'm not sure, or we do a different camera angle and it's just watching me do the work, because I know there's copyright and stuff, but I also know in Australia, if you do things like what I'm doing in a public forum for educational purposes, then it's totally allowed and fine. So we'll see what goes on. We've also got this esports specialization from UC Irvine that I want to get doing as well. And finally, there's the things that we've been reading and doing, right? So like I said, I was just reading this morning about the asynchronous games from the Game-Based Learning virtual conference, which was awesome. I was also reading about the games and sims for training and learning. And guys, it's also worth noting that I have to bring this up in the Discord, right? For which all our supervisors are invited to, of course, but you don't have to be there. Is in the announcements, we applied to go to the Summer Wargaming Institute's thing at MIT, but unfortunately, we didn't get it. We were shortlisted. We were in the top 100, which is amazing. But from what I understand, despite the really good feedback, they're prioritizing people who are closer. You know what I mean? Like, why would they fly out a guy from Darwin? I get it. I get it. But as I said to the members in the community in the Discord, guys, it's not about not being smart enough to go. No, it's about being smart enough to apply. Yeah, shoot your shot. It doesn't reflect poorly on me. It reflects excellently on me. So there's a gentleman called Brant Gilroy who was at the National Defence University for a little while, and he talks all about serious games and the differences between games and simulations, and the different theoretical approaches to knowing them, and concepts about flow, which would all be familiar to my supervisors. And I'm looking at, with elite gaming, not just video games, but all types of games and all types of play, because Tara is an expert in play and how we play, right? And I believe that games have the power to change the world. So this was all very fascinating to me, because as you know, from a pedagogical point of view, I have to be able to take games and apply them in an educational setting as well, right? So we did that, which was really great. We did all of this live on stream, obviously. Then we started the COC. We had some Epigeum training stuff. So it's not great, but I have to say it. Like, it was raised on the onboarding meeting the week before, and then they said they would find out. A week passes, nobody knows, nobody's none the wiser. Fortunately for me, my supervisory team were able to help me, so I'm in. I can start the training, which is amazing. I asked a question about how many words are required for the work breakdown structure, or basically all the tasks that you will do from your middle of your PhD back to where I am now. And I was like, how many words do you want for that? And the response was every PhD was different. But my only criticism of that is to say that everything else is very stipulated as to what you have to do, and then this is just generic, right? So I feel like all students should just be given parameters and say to work within those parameters, and because they have to do an oral defense, let the questions and further interrogation come out there, and let them submit to them supervisors all the stuff they need to remediate then. I did contact Dr. Mark Johnson from the University of Sydney, from their Games and Play Lab, to tell him that I'm progressing. We are enrolled. We're moving towards our COC. Mark is a friend and an ally of mine, is supportive of my elite gaming research at the University of Sydney, and he helped me get to the point where I'm at, right? So I consider him a friend, and if there's anything I can ever do for him, I will. He runs DIGRA, so the big games and play. Him and a team, obviously, of academics around Australia run Australia's games and play research sort of symposium association, and I tried to go to that, but I wasn't in the program yet, so it was a bit whatever. But in the future, I want to maintain this relationship so I can support the scene across Australia. And then we did our HDR activities with the Irish guy, and basically for me, I felt like that onboarding thing was too basic to be of any use to me. It felt very approachable and nice for everyone there, but I will say only two things about it. A lot of students gave me the impression that they were just getting shot down, and it didn't feel very CDU specific. So I would like to see in the future something a little bit more CDU specific, and something that was really empowering the students, because the students were being told, simplify, 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 you're probably not going to achieve that, or that's too ambitious, or whatever. And I understand that sometimes the standard can be quite woeful, and sometimes students need a lot of support and help, but there are also students out there like myself who embody and personify excellence and will do whatever it takes to win, right? I know how to get H1. I am the best, and I will maintain that standard. So do not put me in a dull environment. That's why I do my own thing. That's why I don't play with the other kids, yeah? Because we're trying to make this university a goddamn good one. So with all of that said, please just send me an email with any questions that you have for me, or we can jump on a Teams call. What I might do is give you a call, right? I'll just contact you off stream, give these guys a be right back. But before I do that though, what's our big picture for week 2, right? And where we're up to in our second week of our PhD. I think we're really hitting the ground running. Confidence is high, and I know all the work that I'm got to do. My focus is solely on the confirmation of candidature. 2 or 3 journal articles that we were engaged in writing has suspended. All other conferences suspended, except for the ones that we've already applied for and got confirmation that we'll be going to, right? The only thing I'm doing is working on this COC. The only thing I'm doing is improving my gaming skills. And it is my intention to get you guys something that you can review by the end of the month. And if as a stretch goal, but if it doesn't work out, then HDR conference, go there and show people exactly what we're made of and exactly how great we really are, right? In my book, that's what we're going to do. What goes into the COC? I know I said I'd bail, but like, let me just quickly show you because it might be of interest, right? So we've got these research questions and aims section. So again, it's like the Heimler questions. Why does it? So like it. Significance. Talk about how I address the clear problem. Talk about the limitations. Talk about the plan to get the research out there. Talk about the theoretical underpinnings. So the philosophy, the ontology, and the epistemology behind what I'm trying to do. And then we just go and do the literature review. So Tara's favorite top 10 authors, the complexities, the limitations. These things I know to do because they're from the HDR COC examination supplementary material. So I know exactly what I got to hit. Methods, this is probably going to be my weakest area, even though I did do like analytics with Wharton. It's challenging, right? And there is going to be I did do the survey pass, smash that part, right? Smash that part. So I know how I'm going to do a crack a survey, but I'm going to get in there and make sure my methods are like really tight. And basically, again, it's literature review, find the gap, propose my model, do the surveys in a crafted way, do the interviews in a crafted way, reflect on my own experiences through autoethnography, combine everything with a display exhibition of the artifacts and stuff, and then together with the compiled stuff that's on YouTube of the stream, you should come to know, whoever engages in the material should come to a higher understanding and hopefully an original and significant contribution to the understanding of elite performance in video games and gaming in general. The project timeline, so work breakdown structure, so that's all the tasks that I got to do, and the Gantt chart that goes with it, budget and considerations, and then again, finally, the list of references and everything else. I probably missed a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah, guys, let's just pause there. Let's just pump brakes there, because I don't want to go for too much longer. So thank you very much for coming through. And you know, if I'm coming across a bit snappy, again, it's because I'm crook. I got a sore throat, and I just got to go hard. Otherwise, like I'll give in. And I've still got, what is it now? We've been streaming for 1 hour and 23 minutes. So yeah, you know, we got at least another 6 hours to go. But guys, I'm going to put you on the astral projection, and I'm going to just touch base with my supervisors now and off stream and see what they have to say. It'd be great if we could get them on stream, but let's give it some time. Maybe they want a VTuber model. Maybe they want a PNG tuber. Maybe they don't want voices at all. Maybe they just want to type stuff and it appears on the screen. Let's see how we can weave it in, right? But for now, please, I'll be right back. Scanning your supervisors, lol. Alright, I'm just going to mute myself. I'll be right back.